I've read a lot of stuff over the years. You know, but I believed every word of that Newsmax reporting. And I was like, well, I don't know where to put NATO. It's a North American Treaty Organization. I guess treaty, I don't know. So it's Germany, England, France, Italy, Canada? I don't know. Maybe it's the World War II countries that were our allies. So it just means other countries would have voted on it. I'll look up NATO. That says God says Rosalie Decker had to do with NATO. I know that in the case of I don't know if it's the Army or not. North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Not North American, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. It was formed in '49 to provide collective security against the threat posed by the Soviet Union. North Atlantic. So Rosalie Decker, God says, has to do with NATO. God says Rosalie Decker had to do with NATO. Rosalie Decker, it was Don and Rosalie. They lived at Nob Hill in the K building. And I looked up their obits. I couldn't find any information on them. God says Rosalie Decker may be NATO. North Atlantic Treaty Organization. I was first calling it North America. He knew about one entrance. I don't know what else to say. It would have been banned. It would have been everywhere. Is that a big deal for you? Just picturing cars. Could have had a photograph. But yeah, Richard Henry Sr. talked about that. Maybe I've heard it. Richard Henry Sr. was a nice suburb of Denver. So, middle class. In Colorado somewhere. Well, I don't know any friends. There was a book written about Oklahoma from one level of government. I think it was a state senator. I didn't order it the day I came across it, but it's always been in the back of my mind to read it because John DeCamp did such a good idea. John DeCamp did such a good job with the Franklin Savings and Loan, exposing Bush as a pedophile and stuff. And I believe he was a state senator. But anyway, I was really interested. Well, I'm not a military person, not a police person. I don't know these things, but I didn't know about secondary bombing until OKC. The building was exploded, and then when feds and locals or whatever came to the scene, there were secondary bombs like in the trash, those big trash things, those big metal trash things apartment buildings have. And probably somewhere else, or maybe just scattered around, but took out a lot of the second wave, which were officials. And I'm not saying that's military, that's, if you're that other party, that's good strategy. But anyway, I don't know the name of it. I don't know the name of probably state senator who wrote it. But if anybody has out of a trial. This one that looks interesting. The Oklahoma City bombing and the politics of terror. That's a book, and I'm looking up at thrift books. Authors David Hoffman. Publisher is Feral House. That's where I got the Alex Constantine books. I don't think this is the book written by the state senator. Well, it wouldn't be, because whenever the bombing was... Well, I'll look up when the bombing was. But this looks like an expose. Maybe he has some of his information. This one was the collector's item, so... It was in 95. So David Hoffman's book came out 3 years after. So information would be fresh and maybe less subject to government manipulation. I didn't know. Oh, it was the motive of... They were probably accusing blah 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 Timothy McVeigh. The Waco siege was the motive for Oklahoma City bombing. I didn't know. So it was in 95, this book is... I just paid $26 for a book on the Oklahoma City bombing, published in 1998, author David Hoffman. I'll read you, I didn't read this out loud, I'll read the review out loud, or the summary. The Oklahoma City bombing and the politics of terror, an in-depth analysis of the bombing of the Murrah Federal Building in April 1995, in which 169 people died, reveals government malfeasance, possible cover-ups, and much of the content was used in a grand jury investigation into the bombing, the most important publication on the worst terrorist act in American history. Uh-oh. Sounds a little lightweight. I'll try it. Oh, excuse me. I think they were mostly amphibious. I think the only books I ever bought from Feral House were Alex Constantine books. And his theories were really advanced compared to what I had been reading about at that time. I mean, it's like he hit the points that in my heart I knew were true, but he didn't, give evidence for them. But that didn't bother me too much. I still cited him as a resource, like if I'd write a post or something, like Alex Constantine reported that there is a concern amongst retired national security, amongst retired intelligence agents, of the use of Satanism in trauma-based mind control in children. I read that, so I go, well, at least somebody knows about it. Hope somebody's investigating it. But never a peep, never a peep. I believe God said a lot of people, including people in the Navy, were investigating it. Okay, here's cracking some files and stuff. All fun. Right. I'll repeat something I said yesterday. It seems Harry had to do with Sirhan's programming. Harry just asked, why Harry at the highest levels? I mean, what is a characteristic about Harry that has him doing operations at the highest levels? Okay. Well, when I was kind of stunned that Hoffa was pretty big, Harry said, well, when they let you torture God and the Holy Spirit of God, Hoffa isn't that big of a deal. But, John Kennedy and Robert Kennedy, that's pretty high level. If you're organizing that, you're in the at least the second layer of secret holders. Maybe not the top layer. Yeah. I don't know, maybe these are fresh. Yeah, kind of. I always have had a better feeling about that name. I do. Well, yeah, leadership broke away and stuff. I read about the lost cities of Atlantis and Lemuria, years ago. But the reason I didn't think they would be active cities now is because they were above ground and they went below water. And a city built above ground isn't fit to have people below water. So I thought, well, that doesn't really make sense. Well, Lemuria, was the name that was always more comfortable for me, more than Atlantis. And the Atlanteans were the aggressors, and I guess there was a war or something. I don't know. They could be ancient cities, but I don't think they'd be populated now, underwater. I'm gonna upload this